Yeah, so the 2010 selection show Sunday was really interesting. UNI was in the NCAA tournament in 2009. They were the 12 seed and actually pushed Purdue really hard in that 5-12 matchup. Well, that selection show Sunday in 2010, the Panthers had won the Missouri Valley Conference tournament, and there was a lot of speculation going on about where the Panthers would be seated, as high as a 6 seed possibly, as low as maybe a 9 or even a 10 seed, depending on where the committee would want to put the UNI Panthers. I was down at the Missouri Valley Conference women's basketball tournament. The UNI women actually having their first fantastic postseason in a long time, making their first ever appearance in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament championship game. And the buzz around the UNI athletic department, from former coaches Tony DeCecco to the university president to Tanya Warren to the Missouri Valley Conference staff, all excited for this UNI men's basketball team. They were all excited. They were nervously, looking at projections, bracketologists, where would the Panthers end up being. Well, that Sunday would play out, and the UNI women would win the Missouri Valley Conference tournament that day. And that kind of set just all these good feels through all of Panther Nation, right? The Panthers win their first ever Missouri Valley Conference women's tournament. They qualify for the first ever NCAA tournament in program history. On the day, the UNI men, arguably the best team in program history, is about to find out what seed they're going to be, where they're going to go in the NCAA tournament. And lo and behold, the Panthers come up with the 9 seed, and bracketologists called this basketball team one of the best 9 seeds the bracket has ever seen in a very long time.
It wasn't the fact that we were going to have to play Kansas. It was more like, why do we have to play them so early?
Right.
Eventually, you're going to have to play someone really good, but in the second round already, we were already thinking shoot, well, that's tough. For our ultimate goal, we're going to have to beat someone like a Kansas. But to do it in the second round, it was well, all right, you go to the second round, that's great. But when you make it to the next weekend, that's a whole different thing.
Right.
And that's what the thing was when we first got the seed. It was just Kansas in the second round already, And that's where it was kind of upsetting. But after that, then I remember Coach Jake was just it's an opportunity. And that's what it was.
There's a lot of competitors on his team, and I think that just trickled down to that game. Yes, they were a better opponent supposedly, but a lot of competitors, man. I think Coach Green said that to me a few years ago. It was it's different, man. Every one of you guys wanted to keep playing, and that goes a long way, especially at that time frame.
It's hard, I think, for other people to appreciate what you do every day in practice, and it's everybody on our team was really physical and really tough, and that was every day. So, to bring it back to when they started talking before the game, it was I don't think they knew what they were doing, Kansas, because they didn't understand, talking to Luke or talking to, who they were talking to, because, not to be tough, but you know what I mean? Every day in practice was miserable trying to play against each other because we were all so physical and so tough. It's
you're all right.
So now you lit a fire underneath,
The B-Hake thing was for sure, I hate it against, man.
There was some B-Hake, Lang. I remember Lang and you always got in fights. You and T. Lang got in fights every day. I remember B-Hake hit a banked in 3 one time, and Coach went nuts and was Adam Leonard's gonna do that to you guys too, and I was he banked a 3 in. What's going on? But that's why we were good too, because every day was competitive. So and we had competitive guys, so it didn't matter who it was, we were gonna compete.
Yeah, it wasn't just the starting 5, it was the whole group.
Yeah, everybody.
And even just physically, we spent so much time in the weight room, and we had so many guys who were big dudes and strong guys, and everything. We could make everything hard for somebody.
If we scored 60, 65 in a game, pretty confident we're gonna win that game, because our defense was gonna hopefully not going to allow that many. It was, I think, we were top 5 in the nation or whatever it was in defense, so.